Though Michael is the sole director of all of his companies, he has an investment committee that meets informally about once a year to discuss his many investments. In 1990, that committee consisted of John Branca and his partner Kenneth Ziffrin, Jackson's accountant Marshall Geffen, John Johnson of Johnson Publishing Company, which publishes Ebony and Jet, and David Geffen. The committee had no real power. Michael would veto any decision 5 minutes after it has been made. None of the members pocketed any money from investments made on Michael's behalf. Mostly the committee was informed by Michael so that these powerful men will be well acquainted with one another and be able to follow one another's activities through the year. Michael believes in having his associates having watching over one another to see who may be taking advantage of him because his investments are so fascinating and because it seems an honor for these gentlemen to be involved, even if it does not mean a personal profit for them. Michael has no difficulty in organizing such an investment committee. In recent months, David Geffen, who had been a member of the investment committee for about 10 years, had begun to exert great influence over Michael. At one point, Michael had signed a development deal with David's production company to do a film. David's task was to procure a script that would meet with Michael's approval. However, the two couldn't agree on one. Michael still wants to do a movie that would be a fantastic, big budget combination of Star Wars and Busby Berkeley. It's easy to see why Michael, a man who was most impressed by wealth and power, will be enamored of David Geffen. In its December 24th, 1990 issue, Forbes dubbed David the richest man in Hollywood, and indeed he probably was then and still is today, with an estimated worth of over $100 million. David has a reputation of being shrewd and savvy, an innovative and show business genius who shows when to buy and, just as important, when to sell. He is intelligent and witty. He can be temperamental and is considered by some associates to be conceited and arrogant. Over the years, David earned a respectable reputation in the music world with his Geffen records and film were producing the movies and were distributed by Warner Brothers, including Risky Business and Beetlejuice. In addition, he made money in the theater, co-producing the Broadway hit Dreamgirls with Michael Bennett and helping finance Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats. Michael admired David's business savvy and vision. Michael told me he thinks David is the most amazing man he ever met, said Jackson Associate. He felt that as if he listened to David's advice, he too could become a muggle like David. He hung onto his every word the way he used to hang onto John Branca's. Unlike Branca, though, Geffen really kissed up to Mike, flattered him with constantly. He and David became extremely close in ways. Not only did he have a professional relationship, he also had a close personal relationship. David was the one who told him that Decade was a mediocre idea and that Michael shouldn't waste his time on it. He convinced Michael to do an album of the new material, and Michael agreed. So obviously, John Barker was not a fan of David Jeffens. Hello there again. There was some talk that Michael would hire Quincy Jones for the new project. However, Michael no longer wanted to work with Quincy because he felt the producer had become too possessive of him and his work had taken too much credit for it. Michael was still miffed that Quincy gave him a tough time about Smooth Criminal. Quincy didn't want to be on the Bad album. For Quincy's part, he felt that Michael had become too demanding and inflexible. With emotions running so high, the partnership that once sold millions and millions of albums had soured. Still, Quincy figured he would work with Michael again. He was never informed otherwise. Michael just began work without him. He wasn't worked with Quincy since Bad. David Geffen had obtained all of Michael's financial information. It is quite possible that Michael gave him the documents and started discussing with him his relationship with CBS Records. He pointed out to Michael that he had spent about $40 million making music videos for Bad, including the cost of Moonwalker, and exorbitant amount to spend on video production. David was right about that. However, John Brecka had made back an enormous amount of money for Michael on those videos as a result of distribution and other sales deals, and Michael's net loss was only $10 million. Practically no one in the record industry makes $30 million for music videos, but still, Michael began to believe that CBS Records was making more money on him and his videos than he was making for himself. Soon he was railed up enough to want to leave CBS forever. Prior to this time, Walter Yurgif and Michael Jackson had an outstanding relationship. Michael brought him up onto the stage during the 1984 Grammys. Walter was appreciative and felt that Michael's public view of gratitude helped him earn millions of dollars for himself and his label. You don't bring recording executives at the Grammys because no one's interested. You could have told Rolling Stone in 1988. I went back to CBS and I said, give me another $2 million for that. Walter Yurgif had been one of the most powerful men in the record business for many years. By 1990, his lineup of superstar recording artists included Michael, Bruce Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, and Bob Dylan. But his power has slipped through the year due to a deteriorating relationship with CBS Records, new apartment company, Sony, and in part to his estrangement from Bruce Springsteen and Springsteen's attorney, John Lando. Now, without any Michael Jackson in his corner, Yekutiev's future looked cloudy. And that is it for today. On the 15th, make sure to be here for the next 7 streams. All right? See you later.